Have you ever felt like you're drowning in credit card debt? You swipe, you tap, you pay the minimum, and somehow the balance just keeps growing. It's a vicious cycle, and one that can leave you feeling helpless. But there is a lifeline, a credit card hero some might say, the balance transfer card. These magical cards allow you to move debt from high-interest cards to a new card with a much lower, or even zero, introductory APR. This can buy you valuable time to pay down your debt without racking up even more interest charges. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, there are always catches, and today we're diving deep into the world of Capital One balance transfers. Specifically, we're tackling the question, is there a limit on how much you can transfer? Buckle up, credit card warriors, because we're about to break down the nitty-gritty of Capital One's balance transfer policy and equip you with the knowledge to make informed decisions. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room. Capital One, like most credit card issuers, doesn't explicitly state a universal limit for balance transfers. Why? Because it depends on two key factors, your creditworthiness and the credit limit on the card you're applying for. So, how does creditworthiness play into this? Capital One considers your credit score, income, and overall debt-to-income ratio to assess your ability to repay the transferred balance. If you have a stellar credit history and a healthy income, you're more likely to be approved for a higher balance transfer amount. On the other hand, if your credit score isn't sparkling, Capital One might be more cautious and offer a lower limit. Now, let's talk about the credit limit. This is the total amount of revolving credit you're allowed to use on the card. It's essentially a spending ceiling, and it applies to both purchases and balance transfers. In most cases, the maximum amount you can transfer won't exceed your credit limit. However, there's a slight twist. Capital One sometimes offers separate balance transfer limits. These can be a fixed amount or a percentage of your overall credit limit. So, even if your credit limit is high, the dedicated balance transfer limit might be lower. It's crucial to check the fine print of the specific card offer to understand any limitations. Here's a pro tip. Capital One actually boasts a pre-approval tool for balance transfers. This nifty feature allows you to see if you're pre-qualified for a card and get an estimated transfer amount, all without a hard credit check that could ding your score. Now, we've thrown around a lot of numbers and limits, but what does it all mean in real life? Let's paint a picture. Imagine you have a credit card with a balance of $5,000 and a sky-high interest rate. You apply for a Capital One balance transfer card with a $10,000 credit limit. Here are a couple of scenarios. Scenario 1, Credit Hero. You have a fantastic credit score and a solid income. Capital One approves you for the full $10,000 credit limit and allows you to transfer your entire $5,000 balance. You're now paying down your debt with a much lower interest rate, breathing a sigh of relief. Scenario 2, Reality Bites. Maybe your credit score isn't perfect, or your debt-to-income ratio is a little high. Capital One approves you for the $10,000 credit limit, but with a separate balance transfer limit of $7,500. You can still transfer a significant portion of your debt and enjoy a lower interest rate, but you'll need a separate strategy to tackle the remaining balance. As you can see, the limits can vary depending on your unique financial situation. But the key takeaway is that Capital One doesn't have a one-size-fits-all approach. They assess your situation and offer a balance transfer amount that they believe you can manage responsibly. Here are some additional points to consider. Balance transfer fees. Capital One, like most issuers, charges a balance transfer fee, typically a percentage of the transferred amount. Factor this fee into your calculations when deciding if a balance transfer is the right move for you. Introductory APR period. These 0% introductory periods are what make balance transfer cards so attractive. But remember, the intro period is temporary. Make sure you have a plan to pay off the transferred balance before the regular APR kicks in. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to navigating the world of credit cards. Be sure to like and subscribe for more credit card hacks and financial wisdom.